All right, we are recording.
Woohoo, we're getting there.
Good morning, everyone. Give us 1 second to finish.
I was going to say,
this
pardon
up.
my looking down. I am trying to find the group and it is hiding from me. Oh my gosh, who knew I had so many groups? There we go. Got it. I swear, I feel like life has been a continual Mercury retrograde. Like, I don't like I feel like the last one never stopped and this one didn't stop. And it's just like, I don't know. The technology dance has been very interesting lately, but we roll with it.
Yes.
Yeah, I always just like my little behind the scenes thing that makes me giggle is, I don't know if you remember from the Friends episode when Ross is like pivot and they're moving the couch and it's just like pivot. So, everything is just pivot.
It's kind of the theme. Go with the flow.
Right.
And trust it's all good.
That's it. But hello, everyone, and welcome. Today is Valentine's Day Eve, also known as Sunday, September 13th this year. So welcome to Sunday.
February 13th.
What did I say?
September.
Oh my God.
She has warped us right through the year, folks.
I'm a manifesting generator by human design type, and we're also known as time benders. I'm just over it. We're just gonna skip.
Forget winter, forget spring, forget summer. Let's go right to fall.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, yes. So I'm fine. How are you? Oh my word. Yep. Hello. Oh my gosh. We are very human here at Angels Teach in Divine Order of the Sacred Rose. So just having a human moment. I'm sorry. So, how are you, Mariane?
I'm great. Thank you.
You got to be better than me. Just saying.
No, and I thank you for asking. And I am wonderful. And thank you for getting us started on such a wonderful laugh, because laughter just raises the vibration. And yes, we are human. We are real. And it doesn't matter. We are who we are. You love us in spite of it, I pray.
If I showed up normal, I think you all would be very concerned. Like if I didn't have a Jamie-ism happen, or like it would be like, wait a minute, what's going on? She's too normal.
No. And the truth is, our whole life is our spiritual existence. And that's what the whole Divine Order of the Sacred Rose is all about. It's being authentically you, but being that in the best possible way, showing up with compassion, with non-judgment, with just
humility,
acceptance, total acceptance, and just understanding that we're strong in some moments and we're weak in others. Mm-hmm. And that is who we all are. But if we don't laugh at who we are and what we are, and we walk around in this solemn, sullen attitude all the time, we're boring and we're not fun to be around. And the whole point of this is you should be welcoming to everyone, and we should welcome everyone. So, and what better way to be welcomed into a group than to see that we all have faults, and we all make a misstep. We all misstate something. We know what's here, but we don't always get it out of here. So with that, let's just start an opening blessing now that we've had a little bit of a rolling start, and let's just see where the angels take us today before we dive into our topic, which can be a little heavy. So as you're able, just close your eyes. I feel like I just need to cross my arms in front of me and just kind of give myself a little hug, and just know that I love me for whoever and whatever I am in this moment. And I may be different 15 minutes from now. But in this moment, I love who I am, what I am, how I am. And that doesn't matter whether I show up disheveled or whether I show up put together. It just means that I totally accept myself. And in accepting myself, I'm accepting others. And as we get into today's topic, the angels just want us to know that we all are spiritual beings, and we're striving to be the best spiritual being we can be. And that doesn't matter whether we're perfect at it or not, that we are perfectly imperfect, but we are perfect in the moment that is now. And the angels just want us to just bask in that glow. And that's so appropriate for this Valentine's weekend as well. Just bask in the love and acceptance that is you and that emanates from you, and that then bounces off the others to you. And it's that endless circle of loving acceptance. And with loving acceptance comes full confidence that we are okay. Deep breath in, let it out, and let's have today's discussion.
Yeah. Well, I love that oh, now I'm in the shadows. I had misinterpreted time because I feel it's a little fitting with your experience in the spiritual birth canal and that timing piece.
It is. And that's, as Jamie and I were just readying to start today, we were talking about today's topic, which is the spiritual birth canal and preparing for re-emergence. And in thinking about where I wanted to go with it, and in thinking about this topic, I thought back to my own birth experience. And no, I don't remember being in the birth canal, but my mother went into labor with me many hours before I was born. And I started into the birth canal and then I stopped. And of course, at my age, moms were knocked out. Dads weren't in the birthing room. And I sat there for a long time. And the doctor that was delivering me wasn't a specialized OBGYN. He was just a regular family doctor. And he was busy with office hours. And so he didn't show up for several hours. And my mother wasn't in active labor at that point. And I sat in the birth canal and I just refused to be born. And it wasn't until Dr. King finally showed up and said, we have to go in with forceps, and touched me on the head with the forceps. I was like, you're not pulling me out. And I decided to be born. But it was a long process. And I think sometimes spirituality can be that way, because we think of spirituality as this big, serious persona that we take on. And so we come into spirituality reluctantly, just like I was born reluctantly, but here I am. We can come to accept our spiritualness or our spiritual being very reluctantly because we don't understand it. So sometimes just going with the flow and just being that best person we can be, and picking what gives us our foundation is the best way we can be spiritual. And I know you have an issue of birth timing as well.
Yes. Well, as you see, I have an issue with timing in general in this planet. While I did not just chill in the birth canal, I was a month late. I was, and there were no signs of me coming other than the fact that I was growing, and my mom, and they're like, you've been pregnant for 10 months. Like, she's got to come out. So reluctantly, in my own way, I must have complied. So a month later, I came out. And now that I'm here, I'm rushing through. I don't know where I'm trying to get to. But apparently it was not here. But that being said, what I love even, in my spiritual journey is even that sometimes the most spiritual thing we can do is just be present and slow down and see, just the beauty that there is all around us, the beauty in each moment, the laughs that we can have. This can be a really heavy subject, but I kind of giggle because as heavy as it can be, I find for me, I'm my most spiritual when I just allow myself to be. And it goes back to even what you were saying in the opening, like when we just accept ourselves, love ourselves, be where we are, and not, I feel like sometimes, especially when we start on our spiritual journey, we feel we have to be, the end result is to be this perfect being and ascend to the 5D and, all these, all the different things that are out there. When in reality, like if we ascend, like we're out of here. Uh, you know, which again, at points and times, I would try to rush or just not come at all. But no, but in that, like just really allowing, ourselves to just truly be present and be in each moment, even the ones that feel like nothing's happening. I was telling Marianne before, like I'm in a void right now. And sometimes when I don't have a lot of things to respond to or a lot of things to do, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I feel like I could just like die. But that's again, my energy type is a very busy, multitasking, do all the things. So even reminding myself to just be present and embrace this moment, because I know if I look at my calendar starting at the end of March for like 3 months, it is going to be insane. So I keep reminding myself to enjoy this pause, to be present with this pause, to rest. And even in that, deep in my daily spiritual practices, so that I stay aligned, that I stay focused, that I stayed centered. Because obviously, even it's funny how much even in the void, in the quiet, in the stillness, I can fall off my spiritual practices because I'm like, oh my gosh, right? My mind's going everywhere else rather than that just going within and within my heart, communicating, with my guides, with the angels, even as simple as pulling a daily card. I used to do that all the time. And granted, our daily spiritual practices can ebb and flow. And sometimes I take on new things, but even just like the simple things, like to just remind myself and ground myself in each and every moment. And just in that, I feel like it allows the expansion, for that birthing process, for that re-emergence. And that it's really funny because I feel like I am sitting in a spiritual birth canal right now. I'm getting, inklings and insights and messages of things to come, but there's still nothing to take action on. So it's like, so now, I sit, I meditate, but I can again allow myself to just really align, to align with joy, to align with, just the beauty that really is, as cliche as it may sound, but truly is in each and every moment. And in that, when I do emerge, when I'm called back out, I'm really going to show up in my authenticity and in my, my power and ready to go, full of vitality, and so that's just where I'm being guided with this conversation, and just a nice, I love that these are always so on time, I will say.
I love it. And as you were talking, I was thinking about that birth canal, that physical birth canal it's small, but yet we somehow, and it's uncomfortable. And sometimes we are uncomfortable with that reemergence, that growth, that ta-da moment of birth. And that you think about it now as moms they're mostly awake during that birth process, and that final push where that baby is born, and it's this, the whoosh of the fluid and the baby crying, and it's generally, and not all times, and I know that this can be maybe a triggering discussion for some as well, but for the most part, that birth process ends up in joy and in tears of happiness, sometimes tears of sadness, but that process as we're going through it is uncomfortable for the baby. The baby isn't recognizing that. But for us, sometimes that spiritual growth, that spiritual reemergence, that strengthening of that spiritual muscle is uncomfortable because we're not familiar with it. And sometimes we emerge and we're not perfect. I was born, because I sat in the birth canal for so long, I was born with, at the time, what they called a Danny Dimwit head. Some people would think about, you think about the cone head of the old Saturday Night Live days. And I was the first child. My poor father, he said to the doctor, is her head going to be okay, or should we go out and buy bonnets? As you
Oh
can
my
see, I
gosh.
have an okay shaped head.
He did all right.
So
Yeah.
sometimes it takes a little time to work out the
Mm.
imperfections, and that's okay too.
I love that. I love that. It's so true. It's
Um,
so true.
Thank you, Mom and Dad, for giving me this beautiful analogy to discuss
I was gonna say
spiritual
beautiful
emergence.
head, but I thought you were gonna say thank you for this beautiful head. Oh my
um,
gosh.
so I think that the end piece, to summarize the whole point of my message, is it's not always fun. Sometimes it's difficult. It's not always pretty in the end, but we get there. And as long as we can love and accept ourselves through it, the people that are important in our lives will love and accept us while we're going through it and support us through it. And together we can enhance that spiritual journey for each other.
I love that. I love that. And I feel, at times too, why it is important to just share our experiences, to have community to lean on, to have, places to go, because it doesn't always feel good. And it can be that, there is spiritual bypassing is real. And we feel like if we show up on a day that it's uncomfortable, and it can be more than a day, it can be a week, it can be a few year cycle, like, to have a space that you can show up where you allow yourself to be compassionate and not beat yourself up for not being so happy and positive, and to have people around you that support you and love you and show you compassion and where you are too is, really vital as well. So if you feel like you are in a space that's uncomfortable and you're birthing and you feel like you don't have anyone to reach out to, please leave us, send us a message, leave us a comment here, so, we can support you. And because you're not alone, and it's very normal to not be happy all the time. It's very normal to be uncomfortable. I remember when my child was coming out, he was the opposite. He was flying here. He came way fast, and I don't care, how much epidural there was, nothing stopped what I learned is called the ring of fire. So at times we are what I call, for the old forged by fire, right? There's this intense burning sensation that happens during labor as that child comes. And I just thought, oh my gosh, but in that, because we're speaking so much of actual birth, that phoenix rising moment, right? It rises from the ashes, it's burned in the fire, and it rises and it re-emerges, and it's beautiful. But when we're in the fire, it doesn't always feel so beautiful. And it can be hard to remember that we're undergoing, a transformation, a transmutation, and we're coming out, alchemy is happening, magic is happening. We're going from one form to another, so just again, please feel free to reach out and know that we're here for you as you go through, the different phases of your own birthing and emerging.
So true, so true. And that is a great segue into just reminding people that what is so wonderful and unique about this community is we have people, ministers especially, from all different walks of life, at all different phases in their spiritual journey, that have come to their spiritual journey in many different ways. So let us know what you're dealing with, and we can make sure that the person that most closely is able to work with you to help you get to a place of acceptance, to a love or comfort, is available to you. So please, check out all of the different videos we have, but also know that we have people that are happy to support you in your journey wherever it is.
Yeah. And we love to, and you're worthy, to receive. So just don't forget that either. Like, you're not a bother, you're not burdening us. And I only mention that because sometimes people feel that way, like, oh, I don't want to be a bother, I don't want to be a burden. They like, no, this is what we're here for. This is, yeah, Marianne, this is what we do, Marianne. And there's like, Marianne, you're in good company, but I'm just saying, you know, to don't be afraid to reach out, because genuinely it fills our souls. I had told Marianne before we came on, she said, how are you? And I said, just haven't been feeling good the past couple of days, but I know that the angels will get me through. And I always feel better when I show up and I be of service. So sometimes even in that, allowing another to show up in service for you, it fills them as well. And allowing yourself where you're able to show up in service for others, you might feel, fills your cup as well. So
it's definitely a give and take. And
Mhm.
that you took the words out of my mouth, and I am quickly learning that to allow others to help is a gift to them as well. So
Mhm.
remember that.
Mhm.
Little off topic, but I think it does go along with the spiritual birth canal and the re-emergence, because
Mhm.
sometimes in allowing others to help, we emerge much stronger.
Mhm.
And
It
most
takes a
women,
village.
although I know that there are some in the fields that will give birth
Yeah.
and just go back to work, but for the most part, in modern day society, women do
Mhm.
have some assistance in giving
Mhm.
birth. So
I was even
you never know
thinking,
what you can give birth to.
yeah, that's what I was even thinking, even way back, it was like, it was a communal thing, and the women gathered. As a woman was birthing, she had support of the other women, and so it was never really meant to be done alone. But somehow, just as life happens and things shift, and we can get in the mindset that we have to do it all alone, and like, it actually makes us more worthy and valuable and powerful to do it alone. But a gentle reminder that it actually is more powerful to do it together, and you actually might have a little more energy at the end of the day if you'll allow people to come in and carry, just do the lifting where they specialize, and just support you where, because we all have these beautiful skill sets and gifts, and and we might be good at something, but if somebody's like, quote unquote better, like, allow them to do that. Just because you know how to do something doesn't mean you have to do it on your own.
That's right. Well, with that, I feel complete,
I feel very complete as well.
and I trust that everyone here is feeling that they got a little nugget that nudged at them, or that they were gonna or
Mhm.
just planted a little seed for maybe later when it's needed. So just before we go on with our tenants, I just wanted to remind everyone that next week it is a long weekend here in the U.S. It's the President's Day weekend, and as such, Sunday Morning Grace is going to take a little break, and we will not have a live Sunday Morning Grace, but you're welcome to on the YouTube channel. If you feel like you need a little Sunday morning inspiration, feel free to watch any of our programs that go back about a year, maybe even a little bit more. And there may be a surprise written message as well, but no promises. But we're always here for you if you need us one way or another. So even if there isn't a live Sunday Morning Grace, we are supporting you and we are available to you. And with that, and then Carolyn and Dawn will be back the following week to wrap up the month in this topic of discussion. So Jamie, I'll let you get our tenants started.
All right. There we go. I didn't have them. I usually have them right now. I'm like panicking, like, hold on, where do my tenants go? Because I always keep them in front of me and I move them. Okay, but they're on the screen. So, all right. So just inviting you all in as guided, closing your eyes, placing your hands over your heart, and just allowing yourself to be comfortable and taking a nice deep breath in. And allowing these tenets to fill your heart, to fill your soul, to fill your cells, and to just give you a nice guidepost along the way. I open my heart with deep gratitude and intend today to master my spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical energies. I am dedicated to my spiritual practice. I surrender to my soul's purpose through sacred prayer. I own my guidance.
I live in partnership with my angels. I serve with a loving heart. I am compassionate in every moment.
I trust it's all good. I allow immediate forgiveness. I honor my truth.
I listen to the spiritual messages within my physical body. I express myself creatively. I am one with Mother Earth. And so it is.
And so it is. And as we step forth in this new week, this new opening for miracles and just endless potentials and possibilities that are full of all things good, may we see, speak, touch, feel, hear, and walk as the love that we are, as the divine infinite love that creates us, surrounds us, and illuminates from us. And know that we are here for you if you need anything. We are but a message or a comment away. Please don't hesitate to reach out and to just share with us in general, because we love to hear your stories. And with that, I just wish you a blessed and beautiful week. Be blessed, be well, and we'll see you next month. But we're around in the meantime.
That's right. Love you all. Thanks for
Love you.
joining. Bye.
Bye.